question I get asked damn near all the time is, why did you even bother modifying a V6 Mustang? Was it even worth modifying this car? From all the time and the effort that you've spent into modifying this, you could have just bought a 5.0 and just been done with it. In today's video, I'm gonna be explaining to you guys the exact reason why I did not bother going with the 5.0 and I wanted to stick with the 3.7 liter in this Mustang. Ew. The price was the biggest reason as to why I continue modifying this car, and believe it or not, I almost gave up on modifying this car. What? Because I felt like it wasn't really even worth the money, because I was listening to everybody out there saying that yeah, it's a V6 Mustang, it's never gonna be that great, it's always gonna be looked down upon. I was so flooded with everybody's ideas and thoughts, I ended up agreeing with it until I started to do exactly what I wanted to do to the car, till I found out that the 3.7 liter platform is one of the greatest things you can ever modify, and for a very, very, very reasonable price over a 5.0, and let me explain. Let's just say in a perfect world, you can get a 5.0 Mustang for $25,000. You can also get a 3.7 liter Mustang for about $15,000 out the door. How I look at it is that if you have $15,000 and you're comparing it to $25,000, there's a $10,000 difference in between. I would rather throw $10,000 into the car how I want it, as in like rims, exhaust, coilovers, suspension, interior mods, side skirts, hood, whatever your heart desires, and in my case it was just a bunch of junk I found out of the trash, versus if I was to spend $25,000 over on a 5.0 Mustang and put another 10 grand into it. Now I'm in at $35,000 versus $25,000. What's awesome about modifying a V6 Mustang is it's exactly, literally almost, if not identical, to modifying a 5.0. The suspension's the same, the interior's the same, the exterior's the same. The list can go on and on and on. And the only thing that's really different would be the engine. That's literally about it. So I feel like for the best bang for your buck, I feel like having a 3.7 as a daily, and not only that, being able to modify it exactly the way I like it, I think that was the best bang for your buck. I've had this car for about 7 years already. I could have bought something else, I could have got something nicer, I could have got something a lot newer, but I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this 3.7 liter Mustang, and it was for another very big reason. It's because of insurance.
Here's the bill.
Roughly every month for this car, I'm paying around $200 to $240. If you accumulate that over a whole year, if you put $200 you pay per month, that's around $2,400 in a year, which I find not bad at all. Compared to a 5.0, I'm pretty sure the prices are going to be a lot more. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, because I know plenty of you guys probably do have 5.0s. I really don't know, and probably it's going to fluctuate considering that everyone's insurance is a tad bit different. Now, another very, very critical point I do want to talk about with this car, I think a lot of you guys can agree with me already. If you do own a 3.7 liter, or if you have raced someone in a 5.0, you can clearly tell that your car is slow as shit, just like this one. I guarantee this thing would probably lose to a Prius with the AC on, which I'm just exaggerating. But at the same time too, you could definitely make it fast. And there's plenty of ways you can make this fast by just doing very, very simple bolt-ons, as in a cold air intake, exhaust, a tune, pedal commander, if you want to do a turbo kit on there, if you want to do a rear mount, or if you want to do a front mount, either or. There's just endless options to go ahead and make this V6 Mustang a very fast and productive car. And as I told all my friends, I definitely believe the reason why this car is not popular is because it came in a 5.0. If it would have came in just a 3.7, then no one would have ever talk shit on this car, and I can almost promise you that. If it only came in 3.7, what would you compare it to talk shit about? I also feel like too that this engine is going to be very popular one day in the future, and the reason I say that is because it's just, literally just like the VQ over in the 350Z, and it damn near sounds identical too. With the correct exhaust setup, you can make this thing definitely sound very mean and aggressive. I'm going to say a very unpopular opinion right now, and maybe you guys will agree or disagree with me on this, and leave it down in the comment section down below how you feel. But I told this about my friends with this, and I told them that I feel like this 3.7 liter Mustang motor is going to be a great drift motor one day. This thing produces a great amount of horsepower, and I feel like it's a great motor when it comes to low end torque as well. Because I will say though, for this car, that's my favorite part about it, is the low end torque. The higher end numbers when it comes to horsepower isn't so great on this car. Second to third gear is kind of like and then you got like first to second where it's really really, really fun. Now, if you were to go ahead and do like swap into gears, like 373s, for example, or even a one-piece drive shaft, you will realize even bigger gains out of the feeling of this car. But let's just say overall for a stock motor, for the price that it is, which I think I've seen around like $1,000 to $1,700 within that price range, this is a very affordable motor for the price, and it offers a variety of options that make it even faster, and it's extremely reliable as well. And the only issues I've ever had with this car was a fan and a water pump, and I think that was really about it. And I want to say my AC is going out, but that's irrelevant. And let's just say, for example, and I know a lot of you guys probably wouldn't do this, and you guys are probably thinking the exact same thing I'm about to say, you can always throw a 5.0 inside this car with the 3.7 name attached to it, if that makes sense, because when you go insure it, you still view it as a 3.7 liter Mustang, but you could have a 5.0 in it, and you could have all the fun in the world that you've ever wanted if you ever wanted to have a 5.0 and you just couldn't afford it. Now, here's the thing I'm going to say that a lot of you guys are probably going to agree with me on. Well, you could just go to the dealership and go ahead and go buy a 5.0 instead of wasting all this time and money to go ahead and go swap it. I get it. There's always that option out there to save yourself money on insurance, but on top of that, if you just have money to spend and just say fuck it, and also at the same time too, you want to have cheaper insurance, I definitely feel like throwing a 5.0 in this car could definitely be the best route to go. Or if you want to throw another motor in there, let's just say fuck it, throw an LS in there. If you have money just to shit out your ass, go get a 5.0, have fun with it. This car is no slouch, but it feels like a slouch, but it really isn't compared to the other cars on the road. The throttle response is immaculate. I love it, especially with the right mods to it. I wish I would have went this route the very first time when modifying my car, and that is just going straight suspension. This car handles extremely well, and you can handle extremely well in a 5.0, or you can handle extremely well in a 3.7, but I will say though, driving around with almost a fully modified suspension over on this car is just literally makes this car just that much more fun. And again, I saved myself money overall by doing so. I did the panhard bar, I did the coilovers, I did the rear lower control arms, I added the subframe brace. Literally the list goes on and on and on, and there's just, what sucks is when you start modifying your car, you think you're done, but you're really not, because you find just one more thing that would make your car better than the next thing, then the next thing. Then you start noticing, whoa, damn, that felt a lot better with this mod. I'm telling you, if you're not in the suspension game, you are missing out. If I ever see you at a car meet or a car show, I will literally be under your car looking to see if you got suspension, and pretty much 95%, 98% of the Mustangs I see don't have suspension, and that is the main reason why you are spinning out. If you want to stop spinning out and stop getting memed on, go ahead, up your suspension, have a bad exterior of the car. If you're just for the exterior looks, go ahead and go get a 3.7 liter Mustang. You can put some beautiful wheels on there, you can do a spoiler, you can have some badass Euro style clear taillights, which are the biggest pain in the ass in the world, and I'll explain why in another video. The whole car, you can do so much to it with the 3.7 for a very affordable price. So if you're looking to just go ahead and modify the exterior, getting a 3.7 liter Mustang is the way to go. And you guys can see some of these modifications that I've done to this car at the very end of this one. Thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. No, I'm not hating on the 5.0. It is a badass car, but I think you guys are all looking over the 3.7 liter Mustang.